Hello and welcome to Point View. China's space community and the public have given a mixed reaction to the first test flight of Starship, which exploded shortly after liftoff on Thursday. Some argued that the launch of the largest and most powerful rocket to have ever taken to the skies would provide valuable lessons for the future, applauding Elon Musk and his SpaceX company for having the courage to take risks, while others dismissed it as an expensive failure. The 120-meter rocket blasted off from SpaceX's launch site in Boca Chica, Texas on Thursday morning local time with thousands of tons of fuel on board, climbing slowly for 2 minutes, before its engines started to fail until it exploded, an outcome the company described as rapid unscheduled disassembly. Hundreds of thousands of people in China watched the launch online. On the social media platform Weibo, some described it as a specular firework that's worth $3 billion. One scientist speculated that it might have a knock-on effect on NASA's Artemis project, by setting back its timetable to return to the moon. Others argued that the flight went beyond SpaceX's expectations, citing the company's comments that the main goals were to clear the launch pad, collect data, and get ready to go again. Astrophysicist Quentin Parker, who leads the Laboratory for Space Research at the University of Hong Kong, said it was a truly awe-inspiring sight to see the largest rocket ever built take off. SpaceX Starship, world's largest rocket, explodes 4 minutes after liftoff on first test flight. Parker said, SpaceX was already indicating the chances of success were low. They launched it anyway. Why? Because they could learn expensive lessons about how to do it better and more successfully next time. For him, the launch was more a glass half full scenario rather than glass half empty. A moderate success. But one rocket engineer working for a space startup in Beijing did not agree. He was quoted in South China Morning Post as saying, "Technically, this is definitely a failure." He pointed out that 3 out of Starship's 33 first-stage Raptor engines were already out at liftoff. Another 3 failed when the rocket reached an altitude of 10 kilometers 6 miles, and 2 more went out at the altitude of 20 kilometers. The rocket lost a lot of thrust and fell quickly, said the engineer, who spoke on condition of anonymity. To him and his co-workers, such a result was not really surprising. He said, a main reason for this type of engine failure was having too many of them working in parallel at the same time, which dramatically reduced the reliability of the rocket. Using multiple rocket engines to create enormous thrusts was not new. The Soviet N-1, a rival to the US Saturn V rocket, had 30 engines which needed to work in a choreographed fashion to lift off. But all attempts to launch the N-1 failed in the late 1960s and early 1970s, sealing the Soviets' fate in the race to the moon. One proposed design for China's Long March 9, the future Super Heavy rocket intended to send Chinese astronauts to the moon, will use 30 Raptor-like engines in its first stage and could eventually use as many as 50. Chinese scientists are warning that Chinese companies should be careful chasing this highly risky technical route and avoid repeating the mistakes of the N-1 rockets. In a post-launch tweet, Musk said that the SpaceX team learned a lot for the next test launch in a few months. Hong Kong-based astrophysicist Parker said, "We need to accept failure like SpaceX does as part of a path that can lead to greater future success. This is because when we do succeed, past failures do not seem important, and people remember the successes. Space enthusiasts like myself say touché to that." That's a wrap. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.